Hi, what's up? Welcome to a new video podcast. My name is Finn and today we're going to talk about how to perform in front of the camera. So you create YouTube videos or you have a video podcast or you have videos on your Instagram story, Reels, etc. and you feel like you can step up your performance as a human being a little bit more. So the most common question is, okay, how do I perform better visually and like with my voice without feeling unauthentic? You know, people want to feel close to you, so you have to be authentic. But how can you transform yourself in a way that you're still authentic but use a specific kind of character, which I'm going to talk about in just a second, in order to step up your game in front of the camera? So, my name is Finn. I live here in Cyprus. I'm from Germany originally, 24 years old, and my expertise is in video podcasts and using the video podcast in order to distribute many content pieces out, get seen visually, and become the expert in your niche. And why should I make this for people if I don't do it for myself? That's why I told myself, hey, let's go. You have nothing to lose. You should start a video podcast. And this video podcast, this episode today, is going to be packed with many things, which will help you not only to become better, more confident in front of the camera, not only to talk clearly and like motivating and inspiring, but also get you many tricks that you can use right after this episode actually, in order to transform your role as a content creator in any aspect by 180%, you know? So let's dive deep into it. I have my laptop here. I wrote things down because, it's getting, how do you call it? My English, I lost my English. It's getting hot, let's say that. Join this conversation with a coffee. I highly recommend it. I always join podcasts or do videos with caffeine. It helps me to get my energy up. So a sip for that. Some people smoke cigarettes. Some people use other form of nicotines or dopamine levels in order to get going. I recommend the most effective form, which is either doing sport or drinking coffee. So let's get going. Why most people feel weird in front of the camera? The monotone aspect. So yes, of course, we are built for conversations. We love to interact with our neighbors, with our people, and this happens always with one or more people. So if you talk into a camera, if you talk into a mic, you have no other person around you. You talk alone. You talk to yourself, or basically you talk to the wall. So this is something that feels weird because the only other thing you use this monologue for is WhatsApp audios, for example, or Instagram audios in like the day-to-day life, for example, if you tell something. This is the only monotone, you know? So some people hate it, some people love it, and if you hate it, I'm going to show you how you love it, and if you love it, I'm going to show you how you can do this more effectively in order to get to the point and be detailed. Let's say that. So the camera freeze experience for everyone. So if you are somebody that is not performing well in front of the camera and you are like stuttering or like feel overwhelmed, you have so many thoughts in front of the camera, but not only like to get your message out, but every other aspect. So how you look, how you perform, if this is getting published, then what the fuck is going on? Do people like me? Can I get to the point? And so on. And I'm saying this is the typical fault of overthinking, you know? Don't overthink. Just get things going. This is so easily said, but as soon as you take control over the situation by yourself, you feel like, okay, I have nothing to lose, because what do you have to lose? You record, and if this is bullshit, then don't publish it, you know. But if it's good, most likely, which is nice, people will love it and people will listen to you. Even if only one person listens to you, you influenced one person, and which is amazing. And we are trying to get this up to a specific level, you know. So the overthinking part happens when you feel like you don't have the control over yourself, or this is how I felt like in the beginning. I don't have the control over myself, and I cannot focus on things I really want to communicate to my listeners, to my audience. So back in the day when I started out making YouTube Let's Plays, like I was playing Minecraft when I was like 12 years old or 13, and I made YouTube videos, and I don't know, like 4 or 5 friends watched it, nothing serious, you know. But my father watched it too, or like he wanted to support, or just, I don't know, he wanted to give his thoughts about it. Even then I can remember like one time he came into my room and told me that the way I talk, the way I communicate is absolutely horrible. He came to my room and confronted me that how I talk, nobody will listen because this sounds awful. And this stuck with me like my whole life. Because actually it was not a bad thing. It was a good thing for me, but I'm going to explain it later. This story of my life, which my dad played a big role in it, made myself more confident over the years in order to speak in front of the camera, to talk not only in German in front of the camera, because I'm way more fluent in German and I have a way bigger communication skills in German than in English. Nine, not only this, 9, I talk also in English, because I just want to get better at this over and over again. So there are 2 things in this scenario, in this traumatized scenario. Either you can play the victim role, or you can become the changing role. The victim role is like, okay, fuck, my dad said like I'm not going to get this communication done, or I'm bad at communicating, I'm bad in talking, nobody likes to listen to me, it's awful to listen to me, it's very bad, fuck it, I can throw everything away. Or I use this as a feedback and change myself for this. And thanks God, I changed for this. Thank you. If I don't know what happened if I would be stuck and said no, now I have to lose everything. No, thanks God, thanks Dad, that you provided me this harsh information, feedback information, which helped me actually to become better at this. So feedback, harsh feedback is also sometimes nice. So yeah, this is actually a crazy story about the anxiety I had over years, because I thought not from the beginning that I want to change immediately. No, I had the doubt that, okay, fuck it. My dad said I'm so bad in communicating, I'm so bad in talking and fluently talking to the audience or to the camera, that he is right, and I didn't know how to change immediately. But I just didn't care and proceed with everything. And this was like the first step to becoming better. Because if you learn, train over years, you become better at this. So don't expect that your first video podcast, like this one, for example, is spot on, you know? Well, I might have trained in front of the camera a couple of hours and years, you know, but don't expect that a new format like this is like hitting different from the get-go, you know, like I'm not expecting this. Maybe 10 people will listen to this, and on my 50th podcast, maybe 500 people will listen to it, but I don't know. So, but I hope I just get feedback from you. So please write down the feedback in the comments below if this is already helping, or motivating you to start out. If you still stick with like till this point, I mean, we are connected in a way. So that's nice. That's nice. So let's go to the next shift, the mindset shift, the victim role or the changer role, which I just explained basically. You can be stuck, but you can decide if you want to be still stuck or if you want to break free and use something to change. So use like your brain, your feedbacks from the outside and also from yourself that you give yourself if you watch videos. Use this feedback in order to transform yourself. So the thing is, why you don't get better fast is that you don't get enough feedback. Feedback is everything. So if people tell you, for example, that you are very bullshit in front of camera, or that your audio sucks, or that you have a high pitched tone and your tone doesn't sound don't sound nice, and your English skills are way worse, and other things, okay, use this as a feedback and try to improve afterwards. So this is a big thing. Get feedback and accept the feedback, because if you deny it, it's way harder to change over time because you think you're perfect already, or you think you make no faults, and this is like the ego, and which is not good, in my opinion. But maybe you have made other experiences. Another sip of coffee. Next step, make your performance trackable. So you need to find a system which grows everything over time and makes the performance of your audio, the performance of your video performance, the performance of your social media trackable. So with other words is like, okay, you need a system to integrate into your life. With this, I don't mean that you have to use a Google Sheet or Excel sheet for this. You can just do it step by step, and over time you see how it will leverage and get better, basically with everything. But of course, if you like the Excel guy or girl, then do it, But you need a system how to improve every day a certain thing, and also to give yourself feedback, to create self-consciousness about it, in order to become better at a certain thing. If it's like gym, if it's like audio, is it like video performance, for example? So talking to the camera, talking with a nice voice, having specific gestures you use, or vocals you would use in a different way. This kind of stuff you can train, and it will come naturally by you giving your feedback yourself. So because then you can improve everything by yourself, because feedback from the outside is very nice, but you won't get it every day. But you can make sure, if you can watch yourself how you act every day, then you will change much faster, because you will recognize many more flaws about you. Have you got this part? So if you watch yourself every day, how you acted throughout the day, you will recognize many more flaws about you, which will lead to feedback, and this feedback will lead to change over time. So, with other words, let's make it even simpler. Okay, I will tell you about my story, how I got it, and then you will notice and recognize it and say, okay, yeah, no, this is the way to go. So I bought my first personal coaching program, I think in 2021 in January. And then like a couple of months before, actually half a year before, I was actually buying my first ever coaching in the film niche. So with lighting, audio, and everything. And so I was super new to coaching, and then it was also a spiritual coaching, a spiritual selling coaching, something like this. And it was quite expensive. And so I wanted to make use of it. And because I'm not a writer, I hate to write down things. I hate to write copies. I hate to write down like yeah, things in overall, because I don't know, I rather speak and talk to people or talk to myself even than writing down things to memorize it. I created a video, like daybook. How do you call it? It's like Tagebuch in German. I've got it almost a reflection book. Is it called a reflection book, where you reflect about your day, about what you did, about what you have learned, and yeah, just to write things down. Instead of writing things down, I took out my camera. I was walking minimum like 15 to 20, more like 45 to 1 hour, like 15 to 20 minutes or 45 minutes to 1 hour. Every evening after I had like a coaching session, for example, and I've learned something new. And I did this in the period of like 4 or 5 months, actually, every day, maybe like a couple of days not, but I have it still somewhere in my cloud or something. So I have so many video recordings by myself just with the phone. I was walking also down the street. It was dark. It was winter time, so it was pitch black at like 8 p.m. or something in Germany. So even though people came with the dogs or with a bicycle, they looked at me, and at first it was very awkward, like to film myself and talk myself and other people watching me. You know this feeling probably if you take your camera in public and talk to your phone or camera whatsoever, and you feel awkward. I had this feeling too, and of course it was crazy. But over the next few weeks, a month, when I did this, I was so confident. I was like, okay, talking to the camera, just recording something, because it was more like I was in the perspective of me and the camera, me and the audience, and I was blending out the other things. So other people can assume many, many things about me, which I don't have control of, but I have control of how I perform in front of the camera in order to get myself reflected into this video book, for example. And this was the most important thing to me, because I knew, okay, I get better if I reflect on my actions. And if I do this with video, with audio, then sure, then it's this way. And there has no need for explanation for other persons. So they can think, what an idiot. But hey, so be it. So basically that was my story. I got better also being more confident in filming outside. I was getting better in communicating and bringing things to the point, because it was also very cold outside, and I had to switch my arms my hands all the time because it was so freezing. I can remember. I still remember it. And so I got better in many things. And this was also the time when I got way better in communicating online and talking, making YouTube videos, making online courses, for example, 2-3 years later, having sales calls, because me improvising new things also right now, which is not here in a script or in some points or something, is coming supernaturally, because I trained my brain in a way that it wires to new connections, so the whole conversation keeps flowing. It's like, for example, if you're a rapper and you're a freestyle rapper and you try to find the next word that rhymes to the line before, I cannot do this right now, but I'm pretty sure if I sit down and learn it, over the next 90 days, I will become much better if I dedicate probably like 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes per day for this task. Me personally, I was in school drawing, in drawing class. I was so bad. I was so convinced that drawing has nothing to do with learning. I was so convinced that drawing has nothing to do with learning, and that it's pure talent. So I was completely wrong, because people told me, and yes, of course, little Finn in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, he didn't want to listen. But if I sit down now, I'm pretty confident that I can learn how to draw or how to draw something, which looks actually quite decent after a couple of tries, because I will dedicate time in order to get better in this. So this happens with drawing. This is also happening with math or English vocabulary. This is happening with work, with business, and also with your video performance, how you are in front of the camera, how you act, how you perform in front of the camera, also audio-wise. And it's always also like a thing, like a concentration phase. For example, if I'm editing videos, for example, the first 15 minutes are very hard to get going started, because I have to create the project and I have to find into it's not flowy. Then suddenly 2-3 hours it's super flow, because I'm super immersed in this whole action, same like here. So I'm recording for 21 minutes now, and I was very I didn't know where this conversation goes in the first 5-7 minutes, but after now 12-15 minutes probably, I became so much more confident in this talking stage, while in front of the camera during our session now, just because I just know how which things comes right after, if you understand me. So this is very, very interesting. And now we can make the cut, for example, to bring up your energy, because this whole thing, as you can see, I'm immersed in this. I love it. I'm excited. I can talk now for hours, and I love talking to you, to me, to the wall, however you call it, because I love the fact that I found a way that I'm not getting super, super tired overall. The thing is, before I started this video, I knew I wanted to start this video. I wasn't sure which topic I'm going to talk about it. And I ate a lot of rice. I had paella and seafood and rice. It was delicious, but hold on. It has something to do with the story. I was very, very tired because of the carbs I ate. I said, okay, should I do sports? Should I drink so much coffee now to get me going? What is going on? So I knew, okay, myself, I know coffee is helping me a lot. I love coffee, so I'm using coffee in order to get my heart rate up. Also, I want to structure this video in a way so I know what to talk about it, because 100% freestyle is not really working when I'm not really trained into it. So probably if I do a video right after this one, I'm way, way better in improving, improvise many, many more topics and things. But for the first time now doing this, I needed a structure for it, and I recommend everybody to have a little structure, because it gives you safety. For example, it gives me safety, and safety makes me more confident and comfortable, and more confidence and comfortable in front of the camera. Yeah, I mean, you can see and hear it. This is way, way more nice. Plus, then you're thinking about, okay, you have to jump into a character in order to talk in front of the camera, to be attractive to your audience, is not really that you have to change in a way that makes you unauthentic. No, it can be totally you, but in a specific position. So just feel like it. If you talk to your mother right now, how would you act? Would you act like the same way when you talk to your friends? No. Would you act the same way when you talk to your fiancé, for example, than with your best buddy? Probably not. I mean, if you probably get where I'm going with this. So you have to become a person, or you have to create a character. It's just a new version of you in a different situation. Of course, people say, "Oh, if you're authentic, you can be yourself to everyone out there." True, but is everyone then giving you this, what you expect to get? That's the question. So, of course, there's this core authenticity. I would say this is 90% you in the core authenticity. Fuck. I got this word 10 times right, and now I'm getting it wrong. Anyways. Okay, this threw me off, to be honest. you have this core value of 90% authenticity. Fuck. And the 10% comes per action on top of it. This is how I imagine it. And this is how I talk also to you. This is how I talk in a different podcast. For example, I have a successful podcast about Cyprus, about the immigration in Cyprus and the German expat community, and also overall the flaws here on this island. And I'm talking in a different way, in a different kind of character over there, because it's a different audience than this one. And so it's still very authentic, and I am authentic, but it's different. And it should be and can be, and it's not wrong. So just learn how you want to perform in front of the camera and how you want to talk to your audience, basically. Just be yourself and go with the flow. Drink some coffee and cheers. So overall, it's very important just to give yourself the safety in the aspects you need in order to perform better in front of the camera. So with other words, try to find things what you want to improve them, and give yourself the safety in order to feel more comfortable in front of the camera. So for other people, also for me, especially in the morning time, it's very, very helpful to train my vocals when I have, for example, the typisch Cyprisch video podcast shoot, which always happens at 8:30 or 9 a.m. in the morning because of the sun and everything. I have to train my vocals, because when you wake up, of course, you have not the vocals that if you are like at 4 p.m. or something. Also, you don't have the same vocals if you drink coffee or smoke a cigarette or smoke anything. Because something happens here. I'm not a medical doctor, so what the fuck, I don't know. Anyways, so it can help you to train your vocals, like e, o, u, like do this for 3-5 minutes, like breathe in, breathe out, get your things going, becoming calm, and this can also like work very, very nice for you just to immerse yourself into this whole video podcast, or also camera stuff. Have you ever tried something like this before? Let me know in the comments. And if you create YouTube videos or reels or Instagram stories or video podcasts, please let me know what your biggest flaw is and why, or what and why you want to change it. This would be very, very interesting. Write it down in the comments. I will definitely answer you. So, and if you want to start something like this, for example, you can also go down on my Instagram bio or like Instagram link, write me a message. You also can send me something here on my website, which is also down in the description. When you want to get started to create your own video podcast, for example, to become also better in front of the camera, to create content which is appealing to your audience with your authentic self. So as you have learned in the past 30 minutes, your authentic self is 90% core value, and the 10% how your audience wants to see, to hear you. And let's do it together. If you want to join me, write down in the description. Yes, right. So, as I said, helpful in morning shoots or evening shoots, the vocal expressions and the exercises for you for a better, clear sound, and with, for example, if you have too much bass, like me in the morning, that you can clean up your throat a little bit. And what you think also might be very interesting, where you have a very big flaw, because I see many, many people having flaws with this, is for example, your facial expressions. So what is authentic? When is it too harsh? When is it too over the top, too overloaded, or too less? If you're like just super monotone and you don't want to talk anymore, I don't know. This also comes with confidence. It's like, I can show you tricks, but you cannot perform them right after the session if you are not confident and feel confident in front of the camera. So another trick, in order to change your facial expression, I wouldn't go into the facial expression part. I would always go back to the main case and see, okay, what can you do in order to feel more confident, because confidence is the bridge towards like facial expressions, for example, in my case. So what can you do in order to feel more confident? So get your clothes right. Use a fragrance. It's super important. People don't know how important it is to use a fragrance in front of the camera. Nobody can smell you, but you smell yourself. You give yourself the feedback, the proof that you are worth of fragrance, that you have a very sexy smell. And if you have a very sexy smell, you feel sexy. And if you feel sexy, you feel sexy in front of the camera. And then you can answer to me what your energy is in front of the camera. If you feel sexy, if you smell sexy, it's always in your own mind, and you can trick yourself in a way very easily that you create this nice energy in front of the camera. Yeah. Sometimes it's very, very, very easy. So if you have a new pants, for example, if you have a nice shirt, or it's always use something as a catalysator. Like, okay, there was a German word now, but how do you pronounce it in English? I don't know. Something to boost your energy. So, for example, when I bought my Apple Watch to start going to the gym like 3.5 years ago, for example, or 3 years ago, it was a big catalysator, a big boost to go to the gym, because now I had something to track everything, and it helped me to perform awesomely. When I bought this mic, for example, or actually I didn't buy this mic, somebody lent it to me. If he lended it to me and said, hey, if you want, you can try it out, I was hyped to use it. I was like, damn, yeah, I always wanted to buy myself a microphone, but I didn't know which one. So I'm going to try out this one, a few other options, and this is going to be another video pretty soon, I would say, where I'm going to try out this microphone. And also I have now a very nice back wall on the other half, and over here something new has to come. I don't know, so I use this as something which say, okay, nice, now I can start very nicely. So what I mean with this is please don't use this as the only case in order to perform, because then you create how do you say it? Not abundance. You create. I forgot the word. If you stick to something, if you have to stick to something, you create attachment. So if you create attachment, then you have always to buy yourself something in order to perform, and this is not good, because you need also to find something else in order to perform, like topics or coffee, or I don't know, like followers that gain or comments that come, I don't know. So don't always buy yourself something, but this can also be a very, very nice way in order to get going and get started. Okay, number 8. If you feel you do too much, you're probably doing too little. This is also very nice, because it's related to the facial expression. So you, for example, say, if you do something like this, or be like concerned, or like angry, or whatever, that you do way too many expressions, and it feels super unnatural, because you don't do it usually. You don't talk to people like, wow, that's nice, or like, oh no, that's not good. Like, you don't do that. But the thing is, over the cameras, and if you have ever watched like actors perform in real life, they overact, they overreact basically in front of the camera, so it looks natural in the camera. Sounds weird, and of course you will see it when you record yourself and get things going, and you will see it by yourself. But as soon as you try to act normal, like you talk to normal people, you have a very, very low emotional profile, I would say. But if your energy is high, if you make your face expressions way bigger, way higher, way more immersive, which feels probably in the beginning very over-exaggerated for you. This is probably the thing when it's really nice for the camera, because the viewer will be hooked, they stay and they will listen to you even more, because it feels like a movie, or it feels different than you just talking normally to them. So don't overdo it, because I often overdo it by myself. If I get too excited, for example, or if I have to do a landing page video and it's only like 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes, I'm trying to do too many expressions in these 3.5 minutes, which is not good. But this is something also I have to learn and get better at. Now the time comes when it will change. And tips about making the expression, you will get there. There are no tips. Yes, I can tell you 10 tips to get your expression high, but trust me, watch yourself, get awareness about yourself, about your expressions, about your voice, about how you stand, how you gesture, how you communicate, and then it will come automatically, because you will automatically find flaws which you will want to improve. And when you redo this over and over again, then you will get better automatically. You don't have a chance to not get better. Okay, and number 9, how to keep your audience hooked. When you still see this, you know it works. Probably I'm not the best in it. Definitely I'm not the best at it. I'm just trying to get more clearer and clearer with every message I have. That's why I did also this kind of regulation, the 1 to 11 points, what I have here, in order to have like a seamless story. I try to use a hook in the beginning, which activates the viewer, in order to, take time for this whole thing. And I can still get better in this. I want to improve also my skills in between to automatically include the viewers, my audience, you, into the video. I want to say, hey, do it now, try it now yourself, or asking questions which you can ask yourself at the same time, in order to do it right at the same time as I do it. For example, if I say close your eyes, this is something you can do. You interact with the video, which will keep you more in, because you feel like, okay, I have a conversation with you right now, and so on. So there are many tricks, and I'm not good at this at all. So I have to say, there are some tricks. I'm still learning it. I'm still in progress. Write down why you are still watching here, for example. This would be nice. Or write down something you have learned about this whole thing of how a person is still watching. You can analyze your own behavior right now and write down why you're still here. And maybe this will help me, and it will help also you, because you will analyze also the situation, and we both become feedback. We both get feedback from this. So it's a win-win situation. If you also put in a like, and if you share this video to somebody which is very interested in something like this too, or has an online presence, then it's a win-win-win situation. So if you want to win, do it. Nice CTA. Wow, Finn, I'm getting better here. And number 11. Okay, I mixed up German and English at the same time. Number 11. Get hyped, get creative, and do what you love to do before recording it. And sounds super, super hyperficial. It's so simple, basically, because you just need to do something that you love to do before you record, because then you feel confident again, then you have a nice energy, and if you have a nice energy and feel confident, then your tone, your persona, your energy also is better in front of the video. So Tony Robbins, for example, before he goes on stage, he's jumping on a trampoline before. Is it called trampoline? I hope so. But this brings up his heart rate. This brings up his joy because he loves doing it. Jumping up and down, jumping up and down. And then he's rushing out to the stage and saying, "Hello, guys, it's me." This is the kind of energy which is crazy. So for me, for example, a little coffee is perfect. It's nice because it gets my heart rate also going, and I love talking when I drink coffee. I don't know. This is something I just love doing. Giving myself the feedback I need. Putting on the fragrance, making myself a list, writing down a hook, for example, how I potentially can start the video in order to attract many people attract many people into the video. Giving myself feedback in many ways that is very nice. Do 10 push-ups, for example, or do something interactive. What I don't recommend is watch something or consume something. With consuming, I consume content or get dopamine from a bad source. Like a bad source would be social media, for example, dopamine, or like smoking cigarettes, which is bad for your health, but could be potentially good for podcasting because you get nicotine and dopamine, and this can also transfer into nice energy. I don't know, but probably not the best idea. Or like very easy stuff, coffee, which is cold and bitter now. Wow, crazy. Wow, there I get goosebumps. Woo! So basically this is something I would recommend you doing before you start. So before we end this whole video, I want to break down the most important things for you, which you can do right now before you leave and watch the next video. You can then use this, transform your life, and use the trackable sheets or use trackable data in order to get better in front of the camera. Get better in front of the camera, get your audio done, get just more confident about it, So, number one, the most people feel like a monotone, or they feel like they're having a monologue in front of the camera. As I said, yes, you are having a monologue, but this is also the case with WhatsApp's audios. So get used to it, because you have to get a persona that is able to work with that. And you are getting a persona which is very easy by, number two, the mindset shift. If you decide not to take the victim role, if you take now the action, the changer role, and want to change something about it. So if you're still here and still listening, you decided to change something, which is good. Because now number three is you can change your performance over time with trackable results. Now you can say, okay, I want to become aware about my situation, and I want to get feedback for my videos, for my audio, for my performance overall, in order to become better over time. Because feedback is something we need to improve, and you want to improve. So give yourself the feedback. Ask, of course, family members, friends, if they can listen to you for 30 minutes or about a specific video, whatsoever. And get feedback from not only friends, not only family, from other people as well. Ask for feedback in your YouTube videos so other people can help you to understand their perspective. So please, right now, feedback also for myself. If you're starting out, you don't have to hide. You can be authentic about it. Go with the flow and improve. Re-watch the whole stuff that you recorded. So for example, I recorded every evening about my day for 30 minutes approximately. And this 30 minutes, you can watch the next day or 1 week later of how you actually were able to talk in front of the camera. So if you see yourself improving within 1 week, it's also like a success story for you, which most likely in the beginning will happen, that you see results after 2-3 times of trying it, because you just see, wow, okay, it's getting super high the results. And then it's going more flat, and it's getting harder to get even better over time. But it's not an exponential growth. It's like the other curve. It's like, I think it's going very fast, high up, and then it's flattens out. Because then if you want to improve later on, it takes way longer. That's my personal feeling. Anyways, number 3, the big lesson: change performance over time with trackable results. Yes, you can do tracking sheets or just do it randomly, but say it should be a habit and you should do it every day on a specific time. It's like going to the gym or eating food, for example. If you have a specific time for it, you do it. If you don't have a specific time for it, you most likely will not do it. How to put on a character that's still authentic, and the selling technique. Correct. So we learned that 90% of your persona is yourself. Then you use the 10% in order to become this character in every niche you are. The son, for example, the son niche, how you talk to your mother, or to your parents, how you talk to your siblings, how you talk to your girlfriend, how you talk to your friends, how you talk to clients or in front of the camera. So it's different all the time, a little bit different, like let's say 5%. Find these, you will find it, and you will find it by feedback, and use the selling technique, which I wrote down here, which I didn't talk about actually before. It's for another time. Just do it like this. How I said. Now, bring up your energy. Bringing up your energy by, for example, coffee, a workout, but something you do before you, something you love doing before you record, for example, like getting dopamine in, but good dopamine. You can train your vocals for giving yourself the safety of your voice sounds nice. This is, for example, if you breathe in and then do like this. And this like for 30 seconds until you have no breath, and do it with E, O, U, like some vocals. The expression, you can check your expression also with the feedback loops you give yourself and get better with this. Then if you feel like you do too much in this whole expression and vocal thing, you are probably doing too less because you can overdo things and it sounds literally still normal and okay in front of the camera. So this is something I want to give you on your way, that you have to be a little bit more extreme in front of the camera, so people will recognize you as normal. Does it make sense for you? Probably not. Probably you will see it if you watch yourself a couple of times and also see other people talking in front of the camera or talking in real life. How to keep your audience hooked. I'm still working at this. Just look at my talk and see what's going on. I cannot say a lot about it. Get hyped and get creative before you record. Same like this, get dopamine and become creative and very excited about the upcoming talk you're going to have. So this was a quite nice long video podcast, which I very, very enjoyed. You will probably watch this on YouTube or as a reel or something, or a different frequency. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But yes, I'm excited to give more value to my audience, more value to you. So if you like this, please subscribe, please like, hit the notification bell and write a comment, and please share this video to somebody that also has an online presence, that also needs to hear about this in order to get better in front of the camera. In an authentic way. All right, then have a good day. And if you want to work with me, last call to action, please check out the link in the description and we can work on this whole thing together. With ease.